Welcome to the channel. If you want to understand the mechanics of roster building, hit subscribe and join the conversation in the comments. To an outsider, an NFL exhibition game looks like a meaningless warm-up, but inside an NFL front office, August is an unforgiving survival test. The Indianapolis Colts ended their Week 1 matchup against New England in a 13-13 tie, a result that exposed the thin margin for error on their current roster. At the very top of the hierarchy, the depth chart is settled. Daniel Jones remains the primary starter as he recovers from an Achilles injury, commanding the first-team reps and acting as the veteran anchor for the offense. But the pressure immediately underneath him is intensifying. Anthony Richardson's strong preseason performances have not only solidified his role as a premium backup, but have also kept his name circulating in trade rumors across the league. With Riley Leonard competing for the third quarterback spot and veteran Keenan Allen signed to replace Michael Pittman Jr., the skill positions appear locked. On paper, the roster looks stable. That stability lasted until the fourth quarter in Foxborough. The physical toll of the exhibition slate began with tight end Carson Tout, who was moved to injured reserve, followed by tackle Luke Tenuta and Nolan Rucci, both exiting with injuries of their own. This is the risk of a top-heavy roster. When a team invests heavily in superstar talent at the skill positions, they become uniquely vulnerable to injuries in the trenches. A lack of depth on the offensive line can effectively end a season before the starters even take a regular season snap. The front office responded to the offensive line vacuum with a series of immediate cuts. They waived offensive tackle Baron Matos and wide receiver E.J. Horton Jr. to clear the space needed for emergency reinforcements. To fill the holes, Indy signed journeyman tackle Royan Baideka, who hasn't played a regular season snap since 2022, and undrafted Iowa State tight end Tyler Moore. On the NFL waiver wire, every career opportunity is the direct result of a physical failure. From Baideka and Moore to get this call, it required 3 other players to lose their spots on the active roster due to injury. The final signing of the week carries a different level of local weight. Trey Wedig was the anchor for Curt Cignetti's 2024 Indiana Hoosiers, the hometown hero who helped lead that program into the college playoffs. His 2024 collegiate metrics suggest a high ceiling for a developmental tackle. He posted an 83.5 overall PFF grade, and his 85.1 run blocking mark sat well above the NCAA average. There's a strange irony in his arrival. Wedig's final college game was a playoff loss to Notre Dame, a team led by current Colts quarterback Riley Leonard. Despite his metrics, Wedig went undrafted in 2025, signed and released by the Rams in August, then the Cardinals in December. Now the clock resets. He has mere hours to learn the Colts playbook and prove to Tony Sparano Jr. he's worth a roster spot. Wedig is now caught in the ultimate NFL churn. He is navigating the distance between being a local collegiate legend and the cold math of a Tuesday morning cutdown list. While the players focus on the playbook, the front office is focused on the macro calculus of the final 53. The math begins with the certainties. Jonathan Taylor is the undisputed engine of the ground game, his position on the roster entirely secure. But further down the depth chart, a single minor injury to DJ Giddens has disrupted the projection. Giddens' limited availability due to a hamstring issue has created a sudden opening at the bottom of the room. This chart shows how the math is shifting. As Giddens' status becomes uncertain, Seth McGowan and Ulysses Bedwin IV have a clear window to move up and secure the final roster spots. This bottom-of-the-roster movement often determines how a season ends. In December, a team's success usually rests on the physical readiness of the 52nd and 53rd men on the list. The next test for these new signings arrives this week. The Colts are hosting the Atlanta Falcons for 2 joint practices at Grand Park, an intense environment before their weekend game. For the starters, these practices are about timing, but for Baideka, Moore, and Wedig, these raps against the Falcons are an audition for their professional livelihoods. The Colts are currently balancing 2 different realities: the headline-grabbing trade rumors surrounding their quarterbacks and the quiet waiver wire struggle for survival in the trenches. We will be watching to see if Richardson stays and if Wedig survives the final cut. If you want more in-depth roster analysis, consider becoming a channel member today. Thanks for watching.